today Brian Mertzleft, who is the Director of Buildings and Grounds for East Aurora Schools. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the capital project and what that looks like, the process of that, and just get some information, some updates. We also have a sneak peek at the very end to kind of see what the middle school library area is going to look like, as well as middle school facts. And then we have some photos of the current work being done now here at the high school. So lots to talk about today. I'm excited to jump in and introduce my guest. So Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Thank you, Roxanne. Originally, I'm from Lancaster, New York, so just up the road. I spent the last 24 years in the Air Force, mainly from aircraft maintenance and doing some things with the facilities there on base. But I was second in command, just behind my commander, running a 550-person organization and very large budgets. And so when I retired from the Air Force, this position came available, and I interviewed, and Mr. Russ thought I would be a good addition to the district. So here I am, and I'm almost at my 3-year mark. So it's
That's
been
amazing.
It's been a great trip, and I've really enjoyed my time here. And we've had a lot of progress over those last 3 years. So
Yeah, a lot has changed, right? And a lot to look forward to.
Yes.
For sure. So, all right. So, what's something that you would like the community to know, if they don't already, about the capital project? How does that work? What is it? How is it different from a regular budget vote? The funds that go into that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So when you talk about a capital project, there's actually two different types of capital projects. There's a capital outlay and a capital improvement. So every year a capital outlay is capped at $100,000, and it's for small improvements as the years go on. Capital improvement is really the big things where you're going to see the fields be done, or the improvements to the buildings, whether it be classrooms or air conditioning. Yeah. In this case, what we're coming up on is the library. So
it's a big one.
Yes. But the smaller ones, the last couple of years, the district is focused on upgrading the phone system. So we used those smaller projects over a 3-year time and upgraded the phones throughout the 3 buildings. In the last couple of years, we've transitioned to looking at the masonry work here at the high school. It's old, and we got to stay on top of it. So each year for the last 2 years, we've been repointing the brick to make sure it stays, it's waterproof correctly and it doesn't create any issues long term. So that's really what we've been focused on. And then, each year, the administration, we get together along with the architects and our Buffalo Construction, our consulting firm, and kind of evaluate everything and what really fits into that $100,000 bucket and what we can get our the most bang for our buck.
That's great. Oh, and we have some pictures here of the capital project, the masonry restoration. This looks amazing. Great. And then it says here the continuation. So we had the work going on. Now what is happening here?
So as these capital improvements or capital outlays are happening, we're also doing capital improvements, and those are the big ones. Over the last 5 years, because it does take a long time, there's a lot of planning, a lot of evaluating the district and finding out what it is that needs to be done, how we can expand to really improve things for the children. And so that's really in the planning phase. And then they go into the budgetary, and we figure out what an estimated budget would be, and then we vote on it. So, right now, a lot of the public is seeing the fields improved that just happened over the summer. But those decisions were made years ago when it was voted on. And I think that's sometimes is the hard part for the public is, 3 years or 4 years later, things are happening that were voted on back then. And if you've just moved to the district, you may be seeing this wondering, well, why didn't I get a say? Because those things were done years before.
Right. That's a good point.
So for this capital project, it was actually done kind of in phases. So we started with phase 1, and we had planned a phase 2. Phase 1 was primarily at the middle school, improving classrooms and some office space, minor office space. It was just kind of, we had to upgrade the AC, so at that time we linked in the offices. Really focusing on, the New York State has changed some of the laws, and we've got to keep the schools to a certain degree. There's a heat index and things of that nature. So really trying to get out in front of that and when available, get the AC into those spaces. But for the most part, our buildings have almost all AC, and we're putting window units in. So the goal right now is to get those units out and actually get the AC. So that phase one, as we were doing that, we noticed that the doors at the high school gymnasium were in desperate need of replacement. So those were kind of built in as almost a phase 1A. And we got those replaced. There was some back and forth on how, if we wanted to use glass doors. Some of the coaches thought maybe solid pane. But then the aesthetics, when you look outside and you get to see the trees and all of that. So we wanted a nice balance between the aesthetics, but also, you know, they are fire doors. And so the decision was made to stick with the glass, but we would put film over it to help with the glare and help with the heat. But you still got that beauty and the light through it, which is important. And there's our doors that you can actually, you know, view out and see if anybody's there, or you can look out and see the trees and stuff. So it was a great mix, a big project. You wouldn't think doors would be that big of a project, but when you've got that many doors in a long stretch, and we were in session with the school, and so we had to build false walls and everything so that we could keep the weather out of the gym. But it was a success. So
and it looks great. I don't know if anybody has seen this. Probably if you have students up here, you know, basketball, volleyball, that kind of stuff. But you can actually see it says Blue Devils right across the doors. It looks really, really cool. So if you haven't yet, definitely come check that out. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So we finished up that. So those doors, and then we transitioned into the remainder of phase one, which was the middle school. We were able to update 3 classrooms that really needed to be updated. We also did some fire alarm. That was huge. You know, technology changes so fast, and it's important to keep up, especially those vital systems such as fire alarms. So not only were we able to do that at the middle school, but we were also able to do that at the high school in that project. So very good. It's a great system, and it's been very reliable. But now we're on to phase 2. So the big one that the public sees is the fields. Initially, our plan was to go at this project all at once. So we were going to do the fields, the tennis courts. We were looking at possible field lighting. We were looking at the middle school, the library, the fax classroom as one big package. Unfortunately, times have changed and things have increased. And like I said, when we vote on these things, it's years in the past. And the economy had changed so much, and one of the big things that happened, not the only thing, but one of the big things is the Bill Stadium.
Right.
And as soon as the Bill Stadium broke ground, all of the contractors, the electricians, the carpenters, the steel workers, were really getting pulled to do that. And, you know, these companies, if they had so much work there, that it allowed other companies really to drive their prices up.
Right. Because
now we're competing for labor. So it ended up that when the bids came in, they were over budget. But we sat down and we really dug into what the contracts came in. And what we found was everything for the fields and the outside work were actually less than what we anticipated. Really what was driving that cost was the work, the electrical work and the HVAC systems at the middle school. So it was a tough decision, but the decision was made after many discussions that the smartest thing for the district to do was actually break the project in half. And so we had a phase 2A and a phase 2B. And so we were able to capitalize on the good bids that we had for the earth moving and the tennis courts, the excavation and all of that was outside. Right. And kind of hold off and wait to get another year out for the stuff that was inside. And I think we did the smart move. We were able to stay on schedule. We got a great company that won the bid for the turf field. We had great coordination with our construction consultants, And wouldn't you know it, we hit the schedule.
Awesome.
By the time
That's great.
By the time the kids arrived at school, they were able to use the tennis courts and use the new fields. And let me tell you what, I walked across that field. I played football 25 years ago.
Yep.
Geez, more than 25 years ago. I wish I had a field like that to play
That's
football.
beautiful.
This field is primarily mainly for soccer and field hockey. The stadium turf has the primary lines for football, and all of the soccer and the other sports, the lines are subdued.
So it's multi-use.
And so on this field, what we really did was kind of flip that script where the football, it is lined for football, but those are subdued. And really what we found in talking with coaches is that, like for instance, lacrosse, they use those markers as points to move on the field. And so not only can we use it maybe for practice or a JV game or things of that nature, but it actually does the lining of that field with the football numbers does help other
Helps other
sports.
sports.
Yeah,
That's great.
So, and I would have never thought, but
Right.
it is truly a multi-sport field.
It's wonderful.
In the design, because of the way the ground works, this turf is going to actually, it ended up below grade of the other turf.
Okay.
And one of the suggestions was, what about tiered seating? And so we actually integrated stonework to make tiered seating. So instead of having a traditional bleachers, if you
Right,
will.
like the metal bleachers. Yeah.
Exactly. That's cut into the ground, and it has, stonework where you can sit on.
Yeah.
And then another tier, and then at the top there's a railing that you can lean against. So really a little bit different than the standard field of most sports fields where you have
Yeah.
the metal
Right.
bleachers, but it also keeps the beauty of the space out there. I mean that was real
That's
big. I
nice.
mean East Aurora really does love their trees and the green space, and so that was important to the district.
It's a beautiful area up there at the high school, definitely, for sure. And if you haven't seen this field, come out and check it out. It's gorgeous, even to walk around. Just the scenery up there is beautiful, so that's great. Good
So
work on
that was a huge success. The grass is almost in. We will have a little bit touching up in the spring.
Yep.
With any project, there's usually small nuances when you go through the punch list, and with unfortunately with winter pending, we may have to push that out to the spring, but we'll get it done.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. All right, so let's move on to what are we up to now? So this is phase 2A, right?
Yes.
Middle school. Oh, middle school PA.
Middle school, so part of phase 2A was upgrading the PA system. So when we did phase 1, the PA systems were upgraded in the high school and in Parkdale.
Right.
But it wasn't programmed for the middle school. And what we realized was, although the head unit, the main control unit, is newer, all of the speakers and all of the wiring is very old.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense to go ahead and add that in. It's always been discussed, we just didn't know where exactly that would be
Sure.
done. So one last thing of phase 2A is the electricians that we had on site to do the field. Once they're done with all the lighting, they'll transition and they'll work in the evenings to upgrade the PA system.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that'll be good. These folks are amazing. They do it, they basically install a second PA system and make sure that's up and running before
Wow.
they take down the old one, so that we never have any interruptions, obviously, in
That's
case of an
fantastic.
emergency or
Yeah.
anything like that. Really want to make sure that the PAs are up and running, so
Yeah.
that will be happening very shortly. We've already got everything set,
Great.
and that kind of rolls us right into phase 2B.
All right, so tell us a little bit about that.
So phase 2B, again, when we first planned this, we kind of put together everything that we wanted and what we needed. But again, when you are budgeting these out and you get bids, you're trying to look forward. And so we were able to get our base bid, and most of what needs to get done, will be getting done. But there was some things that we were hoping to fit into there, depending on how the bids came in. But unfortunately, they came in good because we delayed it a year.
Right. So
But
it's a little bit better.
A little bit better,
Yeah.
but not quite good enough to get everything that we had hoped. So,
Right.
but we're taking care of all the structural and things of that nature. Really, the things that we didn't get were the niceties. We were hoping to get a scoreboard for the middle school gym and things of that nature. But we are planning to. The big renovation is the middle school library. And if you've been in the district for a long time, you know that library space used to be the auditorium.
Yes.
And there used to be a stage,
Yep.
and there used to be a lot of, like, up into the ceiling.
Yeah, there's some beautiful woodwork up there, right?
It's actually plaster.
Is
but
it plaster?
Yeah, it's plaster.
Oh my gosh.
So that's really
It's
what
really cool.
what we're looking forward to
Yeah.
is we're going to remove all the ceilings. We're going to open that back up where, many, many years ago there was a balcony,
Yeah.
which has been closed off, and it's now classrooms and where the hallway is on the second floor.
Right.
Or excuse me, the third floor.
Third floor, yeah.
But we're going to open that back up, and where there used to be skylights, which have been covered, the frames are still there. So we're going to put lights behind it and make it look as if when you look up, you're seeing the sky. Although it'll be lighting, but
Right.
give it that feel. So it is one of the oldest spaces in the building, and it was ready to be redone. So.
Yes. And if you've been in that middle school library anytime soon, you'll notice that it's quite outdated. Definitely needs some renovations.
And technology.
Yeah.
Lots
And
of technology.
technology,
Lots of
right.
technology. It's going to
Yes.
be great. It's really going to bring, I think, the student experience to the forefront and really
Yeah.
allow them, we've got in the design, and we'll see that here shortly, but little nooks for the students to go and study or to do group activities.
Right.
There's a printer station for students, and actually, which you may know because
Yeah.
it's your office.
Right.
They brought in a technology corner where your staff will be there for
Yes.
students and teachers, and any other staff will be able to go to that space if they need help with their
Yeah,
computers.
it'll be just a little tech hub, if you will, and we're really trying to bring the library, make it more of a library media center, right? So really bring this into the 21st century and give the students those tools that they need to really feel prepared, especially technologically, for whatever they face in the future. So we're really excited about that. So actually, if we could see some of the pictures here, we do have some sneak peeks of the library center. All right, Brian, so tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here. So this is a library picture,
Yes,
right?
so this is the rendering. As we discussed, you can see where it actually goes up to the second floor. Many years ago, that would have been the balcony.
Right, that's beautiful.
But the centerpiece is, and you can kind of see it more on the right side of the screen there. That I can't remember exactly what they call it. There's a special name for that, but we're opening that all up. There's a plaster restoration company that's going to come and rebuild that plaster to the way it was when it was first built, and that will be kind of an
That's
homage to the history of the school.
Yeah.
And then underneath it there, you'll see that there's a technology screen, and there's different areas. This will kind of be that big general area. If we move on to the next photo, you'll see.
Can I ask a question really quick
Absolutely.
before we move on? So there's, if we go back to that slide of the big library there, at the top there's some wording. Where does that come from? There's some wording up there. Was that there already?
Of course, Roxanne's going to ask me the question I don't know. Yes.
Well, this was up here before,
That
right?
that was absolutely always up there. I don't remember exactly what it says. I probably should have written it down for us today.
Would you like me to read it for you?
Oh, you have it.
Oh, I know it. I know
You
this
know it.
one, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." That's the quote that was up there that we uncovered when we were looking at, this old architecture, which is pretty cool.
Did you have that memorized?
I think I did, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That was
I
very
know.
good. That was very good. But yes, that is. I know currently there's a plaque beneath, because we put that ceiling in, there's a plaque that kind of denotes that saying. But now we'll be able to open it all up and everybody will see it. And people like me that didn't know it
know what it says.
will now know what it says.
Great.
Yes. So this photo here is of where the students will be, the checkout for their books and things of that. That's where the librarian will be and the librarian assistant will be.
That's great.
And but it's very, we've refreshed it, got it up to today's standards. So. In the next area is the technology, like we had discussed. You'll see the printer station there, where that's for the students to go in, and if they need to print something, they don't have to ask a teacher or anything like that. It's right there in the library. And then there's the window. That's where you and your staff will be.
Yeah, so I'm a member of the tech department as well. So this is our little help desk area. So if a student has a problem with a Chromebook or a teacher has a problem with their laptop, they can bring it here. One of our technicians will take a look at it. Or help them with whatever technology issue that they have. So we're super excited about this space.
So this kind of emulates what they have at the high school,
Yes.
Where the students can go right up to the windows. And at the middle school, correct me if I'm wrong, but they would have to go to your office. And
That's right.
sometimes for the students, it's intimidating to walk into an office with a bunch of adults.
Right.
And this will make it much easier for them just to go up to the window, and there's one person there to help them
Yep.
with their Chromebooks.
And it's a great location. It's more centrally located. Our technology office is kind of like off on the side of a wing, so it's hard to find, a little out of the way. So this is going to be great.
So that's the library. And if we want to go on to the next, so this is the fax room. We're doing a big upgrade in the fax, which is Family Consumer Science. We're actually going to flip the entire classroom. And that's primarily because what we found was in past projects they had upgraded some air conditioning. And the units are right outside the classroom area. And it's the area where the students would be sitting to learn, where the teacher is, and it's loud. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually flip the entire classroom and put the kitchens over there, and then put the classroom to the end that's quieter. And I think that's going to be a big change. I know that the teacher there, it was a primary concern of hers.
Right.
And since we're redoing the room, why not? It
Sure.
doesn't really change much. All of the stoves and ovens that we are installing are now all going to electric. So to run the electric just a little bit further down is not a problem. So this will be it'll improve the learning environment for the students. And honestly, that's what all of these projects really are,
Right.
is to improve the learning experience and make it a better place for our students.
Yeah, we're definitely excited. I can't wait for our students to have these new spaces to learn. And thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us a little bit about this huge project going on and all of the results that we're seeing and the fun things yet to come. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I appreciate, buildings and grounds, we're often, kind of in the shadows and we're off doing our thing, but to be brought out and explain, what we do and kind of what these projects are doing is great. And I look forward to, what we're continuing to do. So thank you very much for having me.
Great. Thank you for everything you guys do. We
All
appreciate
right.
it. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day, EA.